Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Nahmadu wa nasalli ala Rasulihil Kareem. A very warm welcome to the Foreign Ministry. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar, is on an official visit to the United States to attend the high-level signature events of Pakistan's UN Security Council presidency in New York, as well as for certain important engagements in Washington. In New York, Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar participated in the general debate of the ministerial segment of UN High-Level Political Forum on 21st July 2025. In his national statement, the Deputy Prime Minister reaffirmed Pakistan's commitment to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, outlined key policy measures driving inclusive growth, climate resilience, and economic reform, and highlighted transformative initiatives taken by Pakistan in achieving sustainable development goals. The DPM-FM called for a just and inclusive international financial architecture that supports the sustainable goals of developing countries and further reaffirmed Pakistan's commitment to global cooperation for a more equitable and resilient future. On the sidelines of the high-level political forum, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister met the UN Secretary General and the President of the UN General Assembly at the UN. The DPM-FM reiterated Pakistan's firm support for multilateralism and the UN's central role in conflict resolution, sustainable development, and the protection of fundamental rights. He highlighted Pakistan's initiatives during the presidency of the UN Security Council, particularly its focus on multilateralism and UN-OIC cooperation. He also raised key issues of national and regional concern, including the Jammu and Kashmir dispute and the violations of the Indus Water Treaty. He reaffirmed Pakistan's support for Palestinian statehood, called for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, and opposed Israel's illegal annexation plans in the West Bank. As part of Pakistan's Security Council signature events, the DPM-FM chaired a high-level open debate on promoting international peace and security through multilateralism and peaceful settlement of disputes on 22nd July 2025. During his remarks, the DPM-FM underscored the importance of multilateralism, highlighted selective application of international law as untenable from Gaza to Jammu and Kashmir, pointed out unilateral actions which are undermining international agreements like Indus Water Treaty, and urged respect for such commitments to preserve peace and cooperation. On the same day, the UN Security Council also unanimously adopted, under Pakistan's presidency, Resolution 2788 on strengthening mechanisms for peaceful settlement of disputes in a UNSC session presided by Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister. The resolution inter alia urges greater use of UN Chapter 6 tools, including negotiations, inquiry, mediation, conciliation, arbitration, judicial settlement, and resort to regional and sub-regional organizations, as well as good offices of the Secretary General, and calls for inclusive diplomacy. In addition, DPM-FM presided over quarterly open debate of the Security Council on the situation in the Middle East, including the Palestinian question, on 23rd July 2025. Delivering Pakistan's national statement, the DPM condemned systematic targeting of hospitals, schools, UN facilities, aid convoys, and refugee camps as deliberate acts of collective punishment and flagrant violation of international humanitarian law, numerous Security Council resolutions and General Assembly resolutions, as well as binding provisional measures ordered by the International Court of Justice. Characterizing the Palestinian question as a litmus test for the credibility of the United Nations, the DPM-FM urged the Security Council to take actions for immediate ceasefire, unimpeded aid access, end to occupation and forced displacement, renewed and reinforced international support for UNRWA, implementation of the Arab and OIC-led reconstruction plan for Gaza, and revival of the two-state solution. The DPM-FM will also chair a high-level briefing of the UN Security Council today in New York that focuses on enhancing cooperation between the UN and Organization of Islamic Cooperation. On the sidelines, the DPMFM met Special Envoy for Global Affairs of the Austrian Chancellor, Peter Luansky, the UK Minister for Africa, the UN Commonwealth and Multilateral Affairs, Lord Collins of Highbury, Thailand's Foreign Minister, Maris Sangiam Pongsa, and Saudi Minister for Economy and Planning, Faisal Al Ibrahim. The Deputy Prime Minister also engaged with leading investment, banking, and IT professionals in New York. The Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, along with Foreign Ministers of Afghanistan and Uzbekistan, held a trilateral meeting on 17 July in Kabul, ahead of the signing of the Framework Agreement on Joint Feasibility Study for Uzbek-Afghan-Pakistan Railway Project. The meeting reaffirmed ties and shared commitment to peace, connectivity, trade, and regional development. The three sides emphasized the importance of sustained cooperation to unlock the region's economic potential and ensure long-term prosperity for their people. On the sidelines of the signing ceremony, the Deputy Prime Minister met with the Prime Minister of Afghanistan, Mullah Muhammad Hassan Akhund, and the Acting Interior Minister of Afghanistan, Mr. Sirajuddin Haqqani. The 10th political dialogue between the European Union and Pakistan took place on 17 July 2025 in Brussels. The Pakistan delegation was led by Foreign Secretary Ambassador Amna Baloch, and the EU delegation was led by Deputy Secretary General of the European External Action Service, Olaf Skog. The dialogue covered key issues of EU-Pakistan bilateral cooperation, as well as regional and international issues, including the situation in Gaza and Ukraine and Jammu and Kashmir dispute. Both sides agreed to deepen dialogue and discussions on security matters, including counter-terrorism and counter-narcotics. The EU and Pakistan reaffirmed their commitment to implementation of Strategic Engagement Plan of 2019 and further reiterated their resolve to continue close engagement under the GSP Plus framework. The seventh round of Pakistan-UK dialogue on arms control, non-proliferation and disarmament was held on 16 July in London. Additional Foreign Secretary for Arms Control, Disarmament and International Security at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Tahir Andarabi, and Director of Defence and International Security at the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, Ambassador Stefan Lilly, led the respective delegations. The two sides engaged in comprehensive discussions on a wide array of issues, including international and regional security, strategic stability, arms control, disarmament, non-proliferation, and peaceful uses of nuclear technology. Pakistan condemns in the strongest possible terms the Israeli attacks against Syrian Arab Republic in contravention of international law and principles of the UN Charter. These unprovoked attacks mark a dangerous escalatory path being pursued by Israel in the region with impunity. Pakistan expresses its full support for the sovereignty, independence, territorial integrity of Syria and calls on the international community to prevent Israel from its acts of aggression that continue to undermine the peace and stability in the entire region. Pakistan stands in full solidarity with the brotherly people of Syria and reaffirms its strong support for lasting peace and stability in the country and in the region. Pakistan condemns the continued blatant acts of aggression by Israeli forces in Gaza and Palestine, leading to deaths of dozens of innocent civilians, including elderly, women, and children. We condemn Israel's constant hampering of adequate and safe access to food, water, and basic necessities to the people of Gaza and Palestine. As per the United Nations Agency for Dealing with Palestine, which is UNRWA, 1 in 10 children in Gaza is malnourished due to Israel's siege of enclave, leading to an anthropogenic starvation crisis. Pakistan reiterates its call for immediate and unconditional ceasefire, an end to Israel's unabated massacre of the Palestinian people, lifting of the inhuman siege, expeditious delivery of humanitarian assistance to the Palestinian people. We firmly believe that the only just solution to the Palestinian question is the creation of an independent, viable, sovereign, and contiguous Palestinian state along the pre-June 1967 borders with Al-Quds Al-Sharif as its capital. I thank you My friends, the floor is open for questions.